That's your sound booth or something?
I podcast in the same area where I draw, so
Okay.
This is drawing and podcasting, everything.
Nice. All right, so I got this. Miss Megan is on. I think Shayla should be coming on. Let me double check. So what years did you kind of like participate?
Say again?
Like in Star Wars Reads Day, what years were you participating? Was it like before 2018?
I did 2016.
Uh-huh.
I think it was 2016, or maybe it was 2018.
Yeah, I think let's see. I guess kind of remember by posters. So Dennis had last year, and then Megan had 2018.
Yeah.
And
wasn't it Sarah before?
Yeah, I can never get her last name. Passetti?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did the year before that. I think the year before that too, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you know, like, what's the schedule like for Saturday? I know I'm going to be working at the library, so I won't be able to kind of like get on, but I'll definitely try to tune into like some of the live stream stuff. But
yeah,
yeah.
I haven't really checked. The schedule should be on the website, and I know there's like I think there's like three guest speakers.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. And then I just went to the library. I don't know if you were there today.
Oh, okay. Were you at Wallace?
Oh no, over at the main library.
Oh, okay, okay. I work at Freeman.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to work at the downtown, but then I switched jobs. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I met up with Aaron, and then actually signed 175 of the posters.
Oh, nice.
And so those will, I think, either I have to check and see, but either rolled up or put in the bags with the other goodies.
Oh, so how are they doing the posters this year? How are they giving them out since it's not really a physical event?
Yeah, I think prior to 10:30, people can get like in line any of the different libraries, and then they'll hand out bags.
Oh.
And I think it's maybe throughout the day, but I'm gonna probably try to get like one or two for my kids.
Okay.
And then they'll start either Facebook. I think they have like Facebook Live, Zoom, and maybe like YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And try to have different what do you call it? Different projects for the kids, and then they're going to interview the guest speakers.
Right.
And I think some of the other stuff that happened, like trivia and a couple other things.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So, and then so Dees, what type of podcasts and other shows do you?
We do D&D live game. So like, oh well, it's not live. I guess it's recorded.
Okay.
We record that. We just put up episode 120 something, and then we also do a gaming series. It's on YouTube. Sort of like goofing off while we game. So.
Yeah. Did you ever?
We're still pretty new to it, but we're getting used to like the technology and whatnot.
Yeah. How about Twitch? Is that an option as well as you're getting on
Well,
there?
one of the editing guys and cast members, does like a lot of the streaming stuff. So I'll talk to him. But when Baldur's Gate came out, we all sat down and had a conversation. We're like, we're all gonna play this game together,
Mhm.
and it's like made for us content wise. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just glad to see the hobbies getting out there. Like,
Yeah.
because there was a lot of years where it was like in muted tones, like you had to use code signals and
Mhm.
like hand gestures to like signal each other, hey, I'm a nerd too. Now
Yeah.
it's sort of like you just come out and say, hey, you want to play D&D? That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
So you also do comic book or fan art, or is that just like a hobby for you? Or
Yeah, no, I do a lot of illustration work. That's sort of like my job. I get a lot of clients that come in and want commission pieces done. So that's like the majority of my day to day is that. And then once a week I put out a comic, rain, sleet, snow. No matter what happens, that'll be up every Friday morning at 7. 1d4rounds.com or on Facebook. You can find it there.
Nice.
and what's the name of the company?
4 Rounds Comics or 1d4 rounds.
Got it. Yeah, I've seen that. Trying to make sure.
And a podcast is freelance heroism, since I'm getting free plugs here.
All right, cool.
Mhm.
Let's hear what-
So let's see. And that's cool. Yeah, I guess he's not on there. All right, and then is it how you say Megan?
Megan.
Megan.
Yeah.
So you work at the library, and do you still pursue like your art?
Yeah, here and there I get like some commission pieces and things like that from people who've mostly like returning customers, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, mostly studying for library school. And yeah, by night is when I do my drawing.
Mm-hmm. And then, so is it kind of like on the job library studies, or do you have extra?
I'm in grad school, so I actually go online to the University of Kentucky. So I'm pursuing an MLIS so that I can actually tell people I am a librarian. Because right now I'm just a library assistant, but yeah, mostly you'll just find me walking around Friedman. But every once in a while I'll get down to the downtown library again, here and there.
Let's see. And so this year's a lot different, and I think it was like myself and Travis trying to work out all the scheduling and stuff, but so it was kind of difficult just doing other things in the poster, and then working to get the group together. But I think hopefully around August time frame, we'll start meeting up and just talking about and see, depending on if it's going to be in person or online again.
Right.
Different ideas as far as donating artwork, and I think the form allows us to get like a small percentage, but most of it goes to the Friends of Augusta Library organization. And maybe even do more things. I think I've tried to do a couple like time lapse recordings of the poster, doing the poster and stuff. So I think that'll be cool to have everybody kind of use that.
Yeah.
That was the Mandalorian one, yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah, that was excellent.
Yeah, it was nice.
So I got two copies here. I don't know if you can look at it, but so it's kind of like at the bottom, sort of 2020, and then you got Child, Baby Yoda, and then Mandalorian, and then
Nice.
like
I love that kind of the cockpit look.
right, warp speed and stuff like that. and then right here come in time. So the top part is pretty much, like they're reading the history of Star Wars. So both like when Darth Vader and Luke met up in Cloud City and so forth. And then in the middle, Ray, she's kind of reading the book also. On the poster you can see it's the light and dark side of the Force, basically, the truth behind the light and dark side. So that book is floating as well as the rocks. So she's kind of like also thinking and kind of pondering back to Empire Strikes Back. So, and then I was thinking of more comic book panels in there, but but I think it came together just having those 3 or 4 basic ideas and putting that on the poster.
Came out really nice. Yeah.
Thanks.
What kind of tools did you use for? Because I'm thinking you said you did like a time lapse, so it was more traditional work.
Actually, it started with a little traditional. I'm like getting iPad, I guess, real soon, and I used my daughter's. She actually has hers, and so this is kind of the first time I use Procreate.
Oh, nice, yeah,
like in depth or whatever. So I was kind of learning and doing my drawing at the same time, and then she kind of showed me more of the tricks and shortcuts and stuff. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm gonna start doing a lot more with that and using Procreate. But I usually do like Photoshop and Illustrator. But I think just knowing all 3 is gonna be a benefit. So
cool. Have you heard of Clip Studio Paint? It's a really nice program. There's so many different tools in there. They recently like had a sale on I think they do it like once a year, but it's really
like
nice.
Every 3 days.
yeah.
Clip Studio is the best. I love Clip Studio every day.
Okay. Yep. So we're just talking about Ashayla. Hey.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Have you met everybody, or does everybody have met?
What's up?
Okay, Megan Williams, and then Deese. Hey.
Hello.
But I was telling them about the poster and how it came about and how I was kind of learning with Procreate, and you were showing me some tips and stuff and using your iPad and stuff, and then so I got 2 copies.
Oh, yay! That looks awesome.
Yep. So I was letting everybody know you can pick up like a a Star Wars bag Saturday morning, and then you get a poster as well.
The pandemic makes us have to do like 9 jobs just to do artwork. We have to do like film direction, audio technician, and
so
I can't wait to go back to just drawing.
I know, so many skills under our belt that we're gathering now.
Yep. And then like was it March and April came around? Like March, I was already starting my own little Facebook group teaching kids on like Tuesdays at 2. I don't know, it just came about that all these TOO or sounds came out, so I called it Happy Art Tuning with art artists.
Nice.
And learning comic book drawing and stuff. So I did that, and then so I learned a little bit of Facebook, and then came along with Jesse Norman. They started doing classes with Google Classroom, so I learned that, and also a little bit of Zoom, since everybody's jumping on Zoom.
That's good. I mean, it's always good for students and young people in particular, just to get like an experienced artist to kind of show them the ropes early. That's invaluable. If it weren't for Xavier, I don't know, I'd probably be working at a call center or something. Very unhappy. But I don't know, I can't thank him enough. Every time I see him, I want to make sure he knows how valuable he was to me. And it's good that you're doing that for other people.
Yeah, thanks. I met Xavier around the time I was retiring, so just being able to talk to him and then see some of his work and know that he's taught a lot of folks in this area. So yeah, he's always, I try to thank him and help out whenever I can to support him. So
Good dude. Him and Travis have done a lot in particular for comic artists, and
yeah,
we've got a nice little crew in the CSRA arts group. That is a talented bunch.
yeah, and yeah, I think it's growing little by little, but yeah, it's a good good group. So I guess I don't know if Megan, you've seen, I think it's CSRA sequential artists, something like that.
Yeah. I saw that group, and I think I was added in there by like either Travis or Xavier, one of the two. I know that Xavier, when I first met him, he told me like he went to SCAD back in the day, like when it first got started, and that's the school that I graduated from and got my BFA in sequential art from. And I think Sarah actually went to SCAD too, if I'm not mistaken. She graduated a few years before me, but yeah, it's just really like you were saying, Dees, about getting like that knowledge early on of like your foundations in art is super important. So
yeah, I was from a family that thought of art as like something rich people buy and put on their walls and never talk about or look at. And so like my perception of art was different than everyone else's. I thought I was drawing and that wasn't art, and everybody else's stuff was art. But Xavier kind of helped me understand that 90% of the art that you ingest in a day-to-day is that kind of art, the kind of art that makes movies, that makes cartoons for people and comic books and advertising. And when's the last time you looked at a menu or even your cell phone at the OS and didn't see that there was some sort of art that went into design? It expanded my visualization of what it was. And I think if it weren't for that, I don't know, I wouldn't be who I am. So I can't thank him enough, and I totally understand that young people getting a different viewpoint from what maybe they've been experiencing their young life can kind of alter that trajectory a little.
Okay, these kids, you have, I guess different groups. Some are in sports, some are in music and dance and drama, and then the visual artists, they're kind of either at the table in the corner, the lunchroom or whatever, just drawing and not really saying too much. And somewhat that was me, not being able to talk or speak or organize my thoughts and stuff. So I'm trying to get them to, okay, you can organize and put a story together, tell it to your friends, family, and teachers, and then that's something that you produce and you can eventually publish sooner than later, and then use those skills to grow and do other things.
I mean, it's pretty cool though, all this Facebook groups and sort of like get-togethers and hangouts, and it's just like you were saying, like you sit in the corner and you draw and you don't really interact. It's a narrowing focus when you're drawing, right, or painting or doing anything like that. You kind of zone out, and it makes it easy to tune out the rest of the world. So it would be easy for a lot of us to kind of drift off and hermit up, like live in a closet and just draw all day. So it's good that these Facebook groups and Zoom chats and stuff like that make it so we can hang out.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned earlier how it's just like now we have to become like the jack of all trades when it comes down to like creative platforms and stuff. But that does kind of help you, like learning that ever since I started like doing Twitch streaming about a year ago. It was really made me be more like strategic with just how I'm putting my stuff out there, and then how I'm also like creating that content. Even learning to like edit down like all the things that I want to share. Maybe I decide not to share it because it's just not, I don't want to say on brand, but it's just maybe not like the type of story or the type of energy that I want to put out there at that moment. And it does, you're able to really kind of collaborate in a whole new way. And then meet other creators in those other fields. So then you start like really intermingling, and then you find out, yeah, like art and creativity is not just lines on paper. It's really everything that other people do when they think outside of the box.
I mean, yeah, and especially when, like you were saying, like kind of on brand, like you have to that was something that I can't imagine anybody thought of before social media was around, right? You just kind of did what you wanted and you made art and that was that.
Yeah.
But now it's like we have to be our own editors, our own focus group, our own analytics team. We have to merchandise and market ourselves. And, you know, it's tricky, but I think that's why I like this generation of artists, like this last 20 or 30 years, right? Like these artists are like the real deal because they have to do everything. When you look back at it, was like Stan Lee when he was working. This is sort of an old story. I apologize. You probably heard it a million times. But everyone else in his office quit and they had to have a Captain America comic out like that week. So he just did it. That's how, like, everyone was forged in that fire of this generation. It's like, well, it's not going to go up unless I first the deadline, and I set my deadline, and I have to make sure I follow it, and I have to make sure it gets out and gets printed and sold and pinned right. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever fall into that same trap of because like after I graduated from Augusta University is when they really started saying, oh, we're going to invest money in like graphic design and digital departments and animation. And I'm like, be serious, you guys. You already took my money and then I'm not even getting everything that I actually wanted then. But it's so funny because as you go throughout, you're still learning. So I think that's the part that made it okay that I wasn't investing money into that there, because now we have Skillshare, we have YouTube, everything like that. And I fall into this trap where I'm thinking, oh man, I really want to learn like, you know, marketing, or like have maybe even hire somebody to help me market and put my stuff out there. But I just think to myself, wait, there's like a YouTube video. I could do that myself. And I think we have like that weird balance between making sure that we still collaborate. Because I think collaboration is something I've had to introduce more lately with my stuff. But then also, yeah, like that kind of ingenuity, that fire, that's like, if I really like buckle down and make the time to learn this stuff, then I can be my own art department. I can be my own marketing advertising agency.
But for a perfect non-art example was earlier today, I fixed a Dyson V6 vacuum cleaner. I just unscrewed it and looked at YouTube and figured out how to put it back together. And what world are we living in?
Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah, I think there's no better time than like right now, especially to be like an independent artist, I guess you could say. Like, you don't have to necessarily work for the big guys to, you know, even make a living. I mean, I see people all the time. It's really cool. Like people who are doing Twitch or people who are on YouTube making videos, or, you know, whatever social media it is. And it's like you're able to make, you know, somewhat of a living, or at least, you know, enough as a supplement or something, just based off of what you want to do. And I think that's really cool with the way technology allows us to be doing what we want, instead of like, oh, I have to work for Marvel or DC in order to make it as a comic artist. Or
it lets ideas get out too that maybe would be gate kept. You know what I mean? Where they have a gatekeeper who says, I don't think people want that. Well, how do you know? Right? You're not going to take a risk on it. So I'll take the risk on it. And if people like it, they like it. And I think it's good for ideas and gives us more original stuff. So if we can just get through this 5-year bump of all the remake movies and get past that,
they'll
I think
start
we'll be
making.
all right.
We'll have another what is it? The same investment in like the Scott Pilgrim movie. I mean, that is like one of the biggest chances I've ever heard of when it comes down to a Hollywood blockbuster.
I have a really sick pitch for Jurassic Park 9. So if we once after we're done with that one, then we can get to the
Yeah.
original stuff.
Let's ask Ashayla, go ahead, if like the audience or anybody here doesn't know who or what you do, go ahead and introduce yourself. And
Yeah. So I am Ashayla Shay and or Artsume Shay on Instagram and various other online platforms. I definitely am in the kind of more digital art arena, utilizing my iPad and Procreate for drawing different characters, fan art, and currently my venture is in the sequential arts area. So right now I have a ongoing webcomic on Webtoons that I'm devoting my time into finally creating. So I would say definitely art, but I do take a lot of influence from film and film and TV. So that's also one of my other interests, where I've helped with different productions, usually in the art department, but then also getting behind the camera and things like that. So I think that those two are my biggest passions, and I try to kind of infuse them as much as possible. And in the future, I don't know, I'm kind of like dabbling and very loosely learning different animation things. So those are kind of like the trifecta of what I'm all about.
we can, I guess, get more into Star Wars. And who wants to start? Like, I guess maybe when's the first movie or show that you know, kind of when you first saw your Star Wars movie, and what was it?
Well, I think that I should probably start, being that the person who got me introduced to Star Wars is on this call from a very early age. I want to say the earliest, and this is probably like, it's probably one of the most kind of heartwarming and also devastating realizations when it comes down to Star Wars. But the earliest I remember is seeing, I want to say Phantom Menace.
Oh.
And so see, that's what I'm
sorry.
saying.
No judgment.
But see,
this is a judgment-free zone.
It's my, that's like my introduction to it and stuff. So obviously at that young age, you see this and you're just like, wow, this is so cool. And you don't have that, that pedigree to really know what makes a good movie, especially when it comes down to Star Wars. So yeah, just like watching that and then fully infusing and then seeing, my dad's collectibles and all that stuff and loving the franchise as a whole. But then, as we all know, years later, as you start to get more in tune with what's good, I guess.
Well, if you like it, it's good. So.
Right, yeah. If I enjoy it, then that means for me it is good at that time. But just really enjoying that, and then realizing there are some things that I now can critique about it, but as a whole, I'm on the side of, if it's Star Wars, it's good. If I want to go to that next level and really kind of critique it and think about it more, then it's coming from a place of love. If that's
right.
If that's what doing it.
Don't feel too bad. I have the same experience as you. I first saw Phantom Menace when I was a little kid. My dad took me to the movies, me and my brother, and that's like my first memory of anything Star Wars. And after that, we saw like all of them in theaters. And it kind of became like a tradition for my brother and my dad and I to go to the theaters every time a Star Wars movie came out. But yeah, of course, back then, didn't know that was maybe not the best in the franchise, but I think still enjoyable memories just because it was with family. I kind of like the offshoot Star Wars things more than the main franchise for me. I really enjoyed Rogue One. I feel like that's one of my favorite movies, even though it's not part of the main franchise. Well, not really, but and also the animated TV shows. I remember watching those mostly when I was a kid and seeing like Clone Wars, I think on Cartoon Network, one of the earlier renditions of it, and then after that, I think they did like the 3D animated ones And I think that's after I think Disney came along and owned Lucasfilm and everything. So that's kind of like my Star Wars experience.
I want to clarify. I wasn't giving you guys a hard time about liking Phantom Menace. I just want to put that out there. It had good moments. I do like it. I was always a Star Trek kid. My family was always into Star Trek. And so when I saw Star Wars, I thought, this is the same. But as I get older, I started to understand the difference, right? Whereas Star Wars is a fantasy. It's meant for you to sort of kind of experience this wildly different universe and just kind of be there for this wild ride and then get out, right? And then you can think back to it as sort of like a fever dream, right? I love some parts of Star Wars so much. Boba Fett is the coolest dude. I know that's sort of like an opinion that everyone has, but it's there for a reason. He's awesome. He's so cool. He talks back to Darth Vader. Who does that? It's like him and Lando. That's it. Everyone else just is like, I don't know. I think I kind of fell in love with the space rogue, the idea of Han Solo being the space rogue, and there's like a whole criminal underworld where like all these guys know each other but don't hang out, but they've heard of each other's reputation. That stuff is so cool to me. It's so cool. Everyone likes the lightsabers.
Mm-hmm.
I like the guy who's like carries a pistol and gets the job done. I think that stuff is very cool to me. And from a young age, I knew, like, as soon as I saw those kind of on the run space bandits, I love that stuff, and it stuck with me all the way through Firefly into yeah. I know, bummer. One season.
I know.
Kardashians had 57, and okay, I'm not gonna rant, I promise. But yeah, so I mean that's where I go with Star Wars. I see a lot of people, they like the Jedi and the dark versus light, good versus evil kind of dichotomy. I really like that gray area.
And it's interesting because the Jedi, and I guess it just depends on kind of what timeline and when you're talking about, but they kind of are like the minority in this universe.
Thanks, Anakin.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And I mean, yeah. So yeah, I think that's kind of interesting. But there is everybody can like find themselves somewhere in the Star Wars universe. And I think for me, like, obviously, seeing like Princess Leia and seeing somebody who is like very like sure of themselves and like just take charge, and even though she's not like full Jedi, she's like Force sensitive, so there's that like that fantasy, that mystical element to her. There's like there's someone for everyone.
They cast her so well. Carrie Fisher is cool. She's just awesome. You're absolutely right. Like, Princess Leia is a cool character, but when you get to know Carrie Fisher as an actress, it's even cooler. Yeah, I got to see her at Dragon Con, and she is awesome.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let y'all know about my, I guess, first encounter with Star Wars. We were actually at a party. I was like maybe 6 or 7, maybe, and not knowing exactly what was happening. So we were in the hallway. All these like little boys, they already seen the movie. I haven't seen it. Don't know what's going on. So they're like, yeah, just get next to this door, and so we're all rebels basically. And then first scene where Darth Vader and stormtroopers come in, they're like, yeah, just position yourself and just wait. And then all of a sudden, they say, now you're gonna get shot, and you're gonna get shot, and then
just distorting a little bit, man.
Okay. Stormtroopers come in, and Darth Vader walks through, and there's just saying, just lay there. You're, one of the rebels. And then, so that was like my first encounter with it. And then another cool thing was, not being able to, or not actually seeing the first one in movie theaters. I saw Empire Strikes Back, and I'm thinking the first night that I saw it, I actually saw it twice. because I think Superman and Empire Strikes Back came out in this like the same time frame. So I was with my uncle and cousins, and we saw, I think, Superman, and one of the movies actually broke down. So we went to go see the other movie. So I'm thinking it might have been Star Wars. We watched Superman and then came back and watched the whole part of Empire Strikes Back. So then
end of Rogue One, man. How did you feel as a kid that played that scene, right? And then at the end of Rogue One, they animate it. Like they do the whole thing with him throwing people. That had to feel cool. Like as an adult feeling that kid energy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, because nowadays whenever they come out, like I'll like basically be seeing all of these twice. I'll see it with my friends and I'll see it with my family.
Yep.
So I believe that, I don't remember what part it was, but there was a part and you and my brother were just like giddy.
When you guys watched, I think it was Attack of the Clones, right? Were you guys younger? You guys go to see that?
Yeah.
Remember when Yoda does that flip around, him and Dooku are fighting? I was sitting in a movie theater, and this place exploded. Like, it was crazy loud. People were jumping up in their seats. What? And it was so great to be in that energy.
Yeah.
I was just curious, did that happen to anyone else, or was it just my movie theater that was all crazy?
I feel like I may have seen it because I think, a lot of people were like, Yoda can move like that? Like, no one's ever seen him move like that. So
Yoda's got moves.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes him like the Jedi Master that you see, this old little guy, why is he, considered? And then they show the backstory, and now you know that him, and then like you said, Darth Vader just knocking people out. And
yeah, he was in backpack mode to conserve energy. You don't want to let him let loose.
Right.
Yeah. I guess the next question would be like, when did you start either drawing and trying to, I guess, mimic or put in a story or in a piece of artwork that you remember that you consider important in your
You mean like when Star Wars started to kind of influence your art and stuff?
Your drawing, and then so like I'll give an example. For me, again, in elementary, I guess I would draw more or less. Like the back of my notebook, I have like different scenes because we had trading cards. So I would draw each one of those cards on on the brown back of the notebook. Right. And then, kids would see that and think it was cool. And another thing I would do with blue clay, I actually did a R2-D2 with all, three legs out. And then one day I found it. I think my younger brother, he's 7 years younger, he like smashed it, and it was like kind of either in half or whatever. So I had to kind of like recreate it or reconstruct it, with heartache in my
It's like, I never forgave him for that.
Like, I've lost R2. Use the Force.
So that's kind of my first or moments of drawing and designing with Star Wars.
I do a bunch for this lightsaber club commissions now. I'm trying to think when the first time though that I did some Star Wars art. It's just so ubiquitous to me drawing at this point. Like I've drawn Darth Vader a million times. I've drawn Boba Fett's helmet. I've drawn Boba Fett's helmet poorly more than I would imagine a lot of artists have drawn anything. Right? I'm trying to think. I don't know when the first time. I think there's something. I mean, it's across every demographic that thinks a lightsaber is cool. I don't think there is a single person that, if they were handed a lightsaber, wouldn't at least wave it around a little bit, right? Like, who's the most stoic person you know? The Dalai Lama could not sit with. He would definitely spin it around a little bit. I think that when you're young and you see that kind of stuff, you want to take that kind of uniqueness of that weapon and apply it to other things and see like what would it look like if it was made of fire, what would it look like if it was made of ice. And that's like, for the D&D kid in me, every weapon that had an energy blade became 1,000,000% cooler, because sort of like Star Wars kind of gave it that nod. They're like, these space monks battle with these, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool, I want one of those. I don't know when the first time, it just goes back too far. It's just something that's been like baked into my DNA. I draw things with laser blades all the time. So I wish I could be more specific.
Star Wars is a pretty big influence on just like all pop culture in general, especially as artists. When we, start to do fan art, that's like a very easy go-to. And I think for me, I always would draw like fan art. I would draw in my little composition notebooks, my own little characters. And like, I would essentially put myself in those stories. So I didn't even know then that it was just me doing fan fiction. And so like I would draw myself into these worlds and into these stories. I think for me, Star Wars is more so like, it's like I have a laundry list or a to-do list of like Star Wars cosplays that I really want to do. And that's one of the cool things I think about the premieres. Like as soon as I started kind of going to those premieres on my own or with friends, like it's like a mandate that we're going to dress up as characters. Right. So in the kind of like, either to the really far extreme, as I've seen some of my friends do, all the way to the more casual version. I remember when we went to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, I told my family, I'm like, guys, we're gonna dress up. You can have normal outfits, but it has to have some type of Star Wars inspiration in it. So yeah, I think that like create something Star Wars related in detailing her experience. Now there's two.
Whoa! He's splitting. He's splitting like cells.
Okay. I'll cover.
I love this two-angle thing. It's really cool.
I know, production value.
Okay. I think trying to think of one more question.
How about coolest Star Wars character?
That's a good one.
Yeah. Okay.
I think like design-wise, I've always liked Darth Maul, just because he looks so cool. Like I love everything about his costume, like the costume designer and everything, and just all the face paint on the actor who plays him. I just like the design of that character.
Yeah, he was cool. Do you see when he gets spider legs?
Yeah, I've seen that in like the I think, did they have that in the animated? I can't remember.
Did. They
okay, yeah.
In the cave with his brother?
Yeah. I
would say for me, coolest looking, I am really into General Grievous. I loved that character. I don't remember off the top of my head which one he was in.
Attack of the Clones.
There we go. Yeah, and I remember seeing him and I was just like, this is so cool. And then I find out like he's like half robotic, half bionic, and like all that stuff happening and him twirling those lightsabers and stuff. He looks the coolest. I would say is the coolest. And I would say in terms of like, personality and stuff, I really liked Poe. I feel like I like Poe more in the first 2 episodes he was in. I felt in the final episode he was in, they kind of tried to like give so much like backstory, which is the thing about characters like Poe and even like Han Solo, where there's like a mystery about them. You don't really know how they ended up there. You just know that they have a past.
Yeah. You kind of don't want them to explain it. You kind of want them to just leave it alone.
Yeah, exactly. So that was my experience with
I'm pretty upset with you because you said my answer. I thought I was going to be so clever after giving you guys a hard time about the original trilogy to come in with this different opinion. I'm like, oh, what about Grievous, right? Right. But now you took it. But he was going to be my answer, but now I have to think again. I like the sarcastic robot from Rogue One,
Oh,
and the blind monk is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I'm one with the Force is with me.
Mhm.
That is very cool to me. And it's like the old Zatoichi samurai movies with the blind swordsman.
Yeah, I think for me, one is Boba Fett, and just I think seeing all the Mandalorians being able to kind of form different, just like cosplay people, building different type of Mandalorians of their own and stuff, and then always to be basic Luke Skywalker, because for me it's not really the how it's just the different outfits, and then also I kind of see me and other artists as like Jedis, where we have a creative type of force to be able to do stuff that some others might think that they can't. And then also coming out of the military, I saw the fatigues in Empire Strikes Back as one of my outfits in the military, and kind of maneuvering within the military as artist, as a soldier.
We should do that as a set for the next live event, to have everyone do their own Jedi, like them as a Jedi.
Definitely.
Nice.
Dibs on Sith. I want to do Sith. Everyone else be Jedi. I would be Sith.
I think we're about done. Anybody else have any comments or?
No, this was great.
Yeah, appreciate y'all coming on. So yep, we will end it here, and I appreciate everyone for the support. Yeah, throughout the year, I think I mentioned to some that just put in either the private group or artwork, or even after this event, you can I think be able to add or place on the Facebook page itself, and then we'll kind of just keep that growing and going, having people like audience to see all of our fan art on there, and then start around, I guess it'll be probably best around August, the month of August, start thinking of the new Star Wars Reads event.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna be coming up 1-2, right? Because it'll be early next year, or would it be or May? Sorry, I got something in my ear.
Oh, which one is that though?
It sounds like a Kendrick album. Hold on. It'll be May that's what it normally is, right? May the 4th.
I think they do a special event for May the 4th, but the actual Star Wars Reads Day? No, it's always in October. Normally, the Star Wars actual Reads Day. May the 4th, they do an event too for that, but it's not like a physical event where we like have people come to the library or.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, thank you all. I'm used to that with my videos. I'm trying to say that I'm gonna go ahead and head out, but thank you for the invite for this.
Cool.
Yeah, ditto. Thank you guys for inviting me.
Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Y'all soon.
All right, later,
All right.
man.
Have a
Later,
good one,
guys.
everybody.